to the game.
Give me a break, need another life. Oh, need another life, life. Give me a break, need another life.
Widely regarded as one of the best stadiums in the land with one of the best atmospheres. It's live from St James's Park today, second versus third clash in a tale of two very different teams. The premier defence against the premier scorers. Here at St James's Park this afternoon, welcome to a top of the table clash, which between one team that we expected to be in the fight for the title this season and the other not so much. But Eddie Howe's Newcastle United have been the revelation of this season, and it's a tale of two very different teams, with Newcastle United conceding just 9 goals in most recent games, but Arsenal have scored a staggering 28, as they really are becoming the scoring the machines that we really expected them to be, especially after the signing of Alexander Isak. And quite poetically, he comes up against his former team today, but Manchester City are still the team to beat at the top. But this could really mount a title challenge for either one. It is second against third. It is two very different forces for very different reasons. We are expecting a title clash here today, and whatever happens from here on out, you have to give Eddie Howe such tremendous credit for, despite losing his best striker, is still mounting a possible challenge for this season. And so it is a new look Newcastle with some very returning people, but of course not the return of Alexander Isak. He's on the other side, but it is all Newcastle's main top stays, and with Nick Pope in goal, of course. Gordon will be the flashpoint for Newcastle today. And up for Arsenal, I don't think Mikel Arteta, you can be surprised. Full straight side, except for Fabio Vieira that comes into the midfield. And as we said, it's Leo Trossard and Bukayo Saka either side of the returning Alexander Isak to St James's Park. Will he score? You can almost bet your house on it. So here we go then, second versus third, the most scored goals against the least conceded. We could even have a 0-0 draw here, quite honestly. Anything could truly happen here. Newcastle here, just hopefully spring a surprise. Arsenal to continue mounting a possible title challenge themselves. It's another one, very early 6-pointer. It really could decide things pretty early on. Very much like the game that the Etihad did between Manchester City and Arsenal. And already Gordon is forward, and he forces a goal kick. I believe it's Anthony Gordon. He's been the man amongst the goals, replacing the loss of Isak and many others too. It has been a total team effort from Newcastle, despite losing their main front man. But as we said, could it be financial? Possibly. But I think a bigger form of it was Alexander Isak joining a title-challenging team. But no one expected Newcastle to come out of the box swinging like they did. I think even Isak will be pleasantly surprised to see his former team right up there. And they could really make Europe this season the way they're going. Unfortunately, they missed out last season with Aston Villa and Unai Emery's rise through the ranks. But Aston Villa had a pretty slow start to the season. They've been really the kind of outliers towards the bottom of the top 10. No one's really sure what is happening to Aston Villa. They did have transfer rumours surrounding Ollie Watkins early on. Of course, he could still leave in the winter window, but that's still some time away yet. And a very nice returning story for Tonali here, coming back from his personal hiatus, shall we say, and some minor problems off the field. But it is a good comeback story for him this season. It's good to see him back, and I think he's been an integral part of this Newcastle United side and why they have started so well, to be honest. Jolinton's another. So many really good players in this Newcastle side. It really is a total team effort. So many really good players that Eddie Howe has definitely got the best out of. And should Newcastle feel the need to move him on at any point, because there has been some not questions, but there has been some rumours surrounding that the owners could be looking at someone else. I don't really know who you have it right now. He's only behind Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola. But if that is true, could Eddie Howe be heading maybe in Arsenal's or Manchester United's direction, or maybe even Chelsea? Could be done. Eddie Howe is certainly a very capable manager indeed. And he's landed on his feet with Newcastle, that's for sure. Well, 7 goals for Leandro Trossard, but of course he scored 7 or 8 against the young boys in the Champions League, so I'm not really sure if that carries over at all. Maybe that's just a whole competition stat. Oh, Isak getting a bit flashy with his shot there against his former side. Well, I think it was pretty audacious, to be fair. Well, not audacious, but rather optimistic to score from there. Nick Pope was not really challenged at all by his former teammate there. Nick Pope's such a capable goalkeeper. And now finally in a real top 4 to title challenging side. Probably where he belongs, quite honestly. The same with Eddie Howe, when you think about it. And here's Gordon. And Saliba and Gabriel are certainly going to be a very tough task for this Newcastle side this afternoon. They have been stellar this season so far, and last for that matter. Saka almost turned him out, and Tonali commits a foul. It's an Arsenal free kick. Vieira takes it quickly and finds Saka with a pocket of space to run at. And he's beaten everyone for pace, as you would expect. Bukayo Saka's picked out Alexander Isak to score. Possibly no. Nick Pope denies a good save for Nick Pope. And it was almost a fairy tale comeback, but for a different team for Alexander Isak there. But unfortunately for him, he's come up against Nick Pope this afternoon. Saka with the resulting corner. It's towards Declan Rice, but the defender for Newcastle got there first. Now is Almiron going to be able to break here, because Newcastle have a 1-on-3 break here. And Zinchenko does brilliantly, to be fair. Alexander Zinchenko's definitely found a new lease of life this season. He's been more of a starter for Arsenal this season. He's definitely found a new lease of life so far. Here's Leo Trossard with a ball in, and Saka with a header, and it's 1-0 to Arsenal, and that could prove vital. No, they may have already conceded about 9 goals this season, but Saka makes it 10 now, because Arsenal's scoring prowess has been almost unbeatable at times. A wonderful ball here from Leo Trossard, right to Saka of all people, the recipient. It went over, I think it was Odegaard there, ended up with Saka, so that's both wingers combining for a goal. And if Arsenal keep going like this, if Manchester City drop any points, they'll be right there, but they have to rely on that. And so far, Manchester City have not lost a game this season. Arsenal already have. They lost at the Etihad, of course. But now they're 1 up here on another top 6 afternoon. We're still waiting to find out if Arsenal have it against the top 6. But they've only played one of them, of course, in Manchester City. And I don't think you could really put any blame on Arsenal for losing that one. Here's Wilson. And it's blocked out by Gabriel. And now here's Rice. Give it away to Kelly there. And then Wilson turned his man out. Callum Wilson's had run-ins with Eddie Howe in the past, let's say, but it seems that that's all been sorted. He's back in the team today. And here's Zinchenko as Arsenal come forward again. He's up to Saka. And Saka shoots again, and Nick Pope with a save. And Fabio Vieira is not going to get there. And Fabio Vieira is taking the place of Mikel Moreno today. And Saka to take another corner here. It's towards Gabriel again, but Nick Pope gets there first. And threw it out to Shah, and Shah could have easily lost the ball there. Could have been a very costly mistake. Luckily, Newcastle tied it up, and here's Tonali now. Wilson trying to find, I think it was Gordon. Trossard to Vieira. Now back to Trossard. More wonderful passing play from Arsenal. Another possible deadly counter-attack here. Oh, and Trossard's turned his man out. Puts the ball back in, this time towards Isak. Fabian Schär gets it away. Odegaard is there to shoot. Great block by Kieran Trippier. And Newcastle have a possible break here themselves. Lightning counter-attack here, hour on now. It's end-to-end stuff. He's met by Gabriel. He's done really well to keep it. Oh, but unfortunately he's lost it out to Trossard. Great defending there from Gabriel. Once again, Zinchenko does brilliantly against Joelinton too. Such a fierce defensive displays from Arsenal, especially when Saliba and Gabriel are together as the centre-back pairing. And here is Gordon. And finds Wilson. Oh, enough the underside of the bar. Oh, and he put the woodwork there. Who put that bar there? It was in the underside of the bar. It didn't go in. Of course, the linesmen have and the referee have a sensor on the goal line for goal line technology. But it didn't go off, and the play continues. Vieira to Isak with another counter-attack on the other side now. Nick Pope with a good save, to be fair. It's truly end-to-end stuff in these last few minutes. Now we've got Newcastle coming back again with Gordon. And Ben White tackles, and he gets the ball. Vieira. Odegaard. Declan Rice to Saka. Look at this passing from Arsenal. It's tremendous. Saka will find Isak again. And Nick Pope just about keeping that in and avoiding it, bringing it out for a corner. I don't think get a replay of the shot earlier. And see how close Newcastle were to scoring from Callum Wilson there. Tonali to Melez. Now Wilson. And Wilson. Oh, it's saved by Raya. And both teams all go back to the goalkeepers, both of which have been tremendous so far. Notice that Goulimeles is hobbling a little bit. Eddie Howe rather will keep his eye on that one. Right with the goal kick. I think Goulimeles is struggling a bit. Some tremendous kick by Raya. Oh, it's come off Burns' arm, and it's going to be a goal kick. Or a free kick. I think that's a bit harsh on Burns, to be honest. Of course, the setting up of the free kick takes time, so Newcastle were able to get back there. There's no telling that would have ended up going back. Probably would have ended up going back to the keeper, most likely. Saliba is level forward. Here's Odegaard, who gets fouled. Is it going to be brought back for a free kick? No, yes it is. And he did get pushed out. I think that was a bit harsh, to be honest. I think that was a little bit harsh. It was really just a shove. You get that in football all the time. So I think that was a bit harsh, to be honest. In any case, Saka is standing over the ball. Not a prolific free kick taker, but can certainly hit them. Lee go for the Leo Golton trick. that she used against Spurs to score. And I think he did. And that time, Nick Pope was immediately aware of it. I think most goalkeepers will be aware of it from now on. Here's Tonali. Callum Wilson and Gordon. Wonderful play, and Gordon, probably could have made a bit more out of that. I think he rushed that shot a little bit. But it was beautiful play in the build-up there. Both these teams, their build-up play has been sensational in this first half. It's amazing we've only had one goal, really. Headed back there by Isak, really just to keep the ball. And it's to Ben White. And Vieira is offside. Flag went up pretty quickly there as he received it. And that's pretty clear cut, to be fair. The linesman actually wasn't looking at him there. He was actually looking at Saka passing the ball. So he was very lucky to catch it out of the corner of his eye somehow. Oh, what a flick by Isak. And now he's away. And surely... Oh, and no, Nick Pope, he denies him again. It was a wonderful flick by Isak, and he was at the races, but Nick Pope denies him again. Great save, and out for another corner. It's been end-to-end stuff. It's been a thrilling game. Both teams playing ever so well, really. It's a shame at the moment that someone may have to lose. This really has a top-of-the-table field clash about it. Kieran Trippier heads away from the corner. Saliba's there. I think it was Vieira that kind of fell a bit there, but he seems okay now. He's back up on his feet. Now Tonali's away. Here's Callum Wilson. And here's Jolinton back to Wilson. He's received the ball. It took a nick off for the Arsenal man, and Callum Wilson's got down, and nothing is given by the referee. Saliba may have got away with one there on that tackle. Trippier. Tonali, wonderful passing. It's kind of the passing that Arsenal have adapted this season. Gordon to Callum Wilson, and he will shoot, and Gabriel will defend it away for a corner. Gabriel and Saliba were definitely revelations at Arsenal for last season. Great defensive performances that gave David Raya the Golden Glove Award, really. And now they're doing it again. They say defence wins championships. Let's hope that's the case for Arsenal soon, because they definitely have a defence that could be capable of doing so. Jolinton, well brought down and blocked away by Zinchenko. I think he probably could have turned and gone maybe to the right as he was facing in that direction. 5 minutes of added on time. That's a lot of added on time for the first half. We've not really had a lot of stoppages. Had a couple of free kicks, but such high tempo play from both sides here today. Melez is going to shoot. I think that's probably a testament to Arsenal's good defending. Newcastle are being forced to shoot from places where you probably wouldn't really expect them to. We have had a couple of earlies from long range go in this season already. Gordon, this will probably be one of Wilson rather. This could be the last chance of the half. And almost ended up with Tonali, but for William Saliba. Vieira, what a touch. But Kieran Trippier is equal in defending it. On it nicked off Trossard. It's going to end up with Declan Rice. Arsenal may just play out the rest of the clock here. Oh, and he's found Saka. And now he's found Isak! It is tremendous! It is 2-0! Alexander Isak with a bicycle kick. Oh my word. Well, even the Newcastle fans are standing up, because Isak has scored a tremendous goal. Cross here by Saka. Flying bicycle kick by Alexander Isak, and we have another contender for goal of the season. Oh, what a strike. And even, like I said, the Newcastle fans are standing up and cheering because that was a tremendous goal. What a way to end the first half. Arsenal may just take command of an end-to-end game. It's been absolutely stunning to watch so far. But Alexander Isak may have stole the show for his new team against his former club. He may have scored for Arsenal, but even the Newcastle fans were cheering. Even though they're 2-0 down here at the break. What a half. Well, welcome to St James's Park for the second versus third in the league clash between Newcastle and Arsenal. Whoever wins this could mount a title challenge between themselves and City for the rest of the season. I think we have a triple substitution from Mikel Arteta. Pantino has come on. Isak has come off, probably for squad rotation purposes. Once it looks somewhat comfortable for Arsenal, Arteta does tend to do that and replace his best players to keep them rested as much as he can. So Isak has gone off, Nelson has gone on for Saka, and Pantano's come on for midfielder. It might have been Odegaard. And Ryan makes a good save to start the second half. Well, the story so far has been end-to-end stuff, and of course, as we said at the top of the show, it's been a tale of two teams. Newcastle only conceding about 6 to 9 goals over the course of the season so far before today. Arsenal scored a staggering 28. Both those stats have gone up by 2. Now Arsenal are sitting at 30 in the last 2 games. And Newcastle's goal conceding has gone up to 10 or 11 maybe. And they'll take on Nottingham Forest next. Zinchenko whips it in towards Eddie Nketiah. It's saved by Nick Pope, literally on the line. So it's Nketiah that came on for Isak. And Nelson came on for Saka. I think it was Pantano for Fabio Vieira. It certainly was in another Arsenal substitution. It's all down to Newcastle now. We know their resiliency. Can they get back in this game? Oh, Almiron's dispossessed Saliba. That's the first real mistake he's made so far. Well, here's the goal line technology replay. This was the save from Nick Pope just a moment ago. Pretty clear cut, to be honest. Not sure why we need the goal line technology for that one. Then we had a shot from Newcastle in the first half that wasn't given a replay. It was Callum Wilson hitting the underside of the bar and out. And here is Wilson again. And Gabriel just about getting that cleared. David Raya was actually in the air trying to save the shot attempt. So if Newcastle had gotten to that, Arsenal probably would have been in real trouble. It's Jolinton. They're certainly not giving this up, Newcastle. But Arsenal certainly have been the better side so far. Good tackle from Byrne, to be honest. Right down the jersey of Nelson there. Also impressive for Newcastle, but now Nelson's away. And here come Arsenal again. Down the wing, it's been their choice so far this game. And Nketiah with a diving header, but he's wide. Well, Eddie Howe, he's just not had his way today, but Arsenal are just that powerful at the moment. And he's out putting the icing on the cake. With that awesome bicycle kick there. Another contender for goal of the season. Here is Wilson. And away by Saliba. Well, Isak is definitely finding his feet at Arsenal now. Scoring for fun. Some talk that he could even possibly, if he continues like this, he could beat the Premier League scoring record of 36. Which I think was set by Erling Haaland a couple of seasons ago. Barnes has come off, or gone on rather. And he's come on for Almiron. Oh, and that's a poor free kick, really. You could see the intent on that, but it was a bit too far, unfortunately. Here's Ben White. Oh, he's giving it away to Guillemales, and now, oh, he's giving it away as well. Couple wasteful chances there from Newcastle. That's not what Eddie Howe will want to see. Can't do that against this Arsenal side. Back to Rice. Now Odegaard. If Odegaard would have gone to try and pass to Nketiah there, he's in a really good position. Gabriel once again there to do his duties as a defender. He's done them very well. When it comes to defensive duty, there's no one better than Gabriel and Saliba, probably apart from the Manchester City central defence. And that whole team is stacked. This Arsenal team is definitely not too bad right now. Nketiah. He's missed it. Well, there was some talk of Nketiah being sold to Crystal Palace, but that never materialised. Given Mikel Arteta, he's definitely going to need some backup if Isak or Saka go down for sure. Because before, if Saka or Isak would have gone down, well, more Saka from last season, of course. If he went down, the whole system would probably fall apart at times. Saka is that influential to this Arsenal team, and that's why Arteta is really taking care of him. If Arsenal are in a commanding position, Isak and the likes of Isak and Arsenal, Saka and Odegaard, they go straight off. Mikel Arteta does not want injuries curtailing his season, but they are an unfortunate part of the game. They will probably happen at some point. We hope not. But as we said, it's a very unfortunate part of the game that still exists, no matter how much kind of load management you do. And Arteta's certainly done that this year. As Trossard forces the same out Nick Pope. He's kept it in! And it's another good save by Nick Pope as well. And Trossard was the man against Young Boys, of course, setting a Champions League record. And he came on in a switch after Havertz had gone down injured. And he'll be out for a few months. A broken toe, unfortunately. The other two injuries weren't so bad. I think it was Vieira that was out for 5 days in the end. And that was a low whipping ball by, I think it was Declan Rice. He found Saliba, but the nick came off him and went to Gordon instead. Here's Jolinton. And Arsenal could pull off a win here. It would certainly be not an upset. It would certainly be a vital win. And Arsenal's quest should really just keep up with City right now. Nketiah to Nelson. Oh, it's a weak shot, to be fair. Nick Pope straight at him. He'll take those all day long. Well, here for Arsenal, I think this would probably put them second. I think they're behind Newcastle by a point so far. Gordon. Good save by Riot. And another double substitution for Arsenal as Rice and Saliba now make way for Calavori and Moreno respectively. So two new signings for Arsenal coming on for the final 15 minutes or so of the game. As Newcastle at this corner, and here's Barnes. Tackled by the youngster Pantado. Arsenal's young core really does seem impressive. Got a couple of very capable young goalkeepers coming through the ranks quickly as well. And they'll certainly need that for maybe when after Neto returns to Bournemouth on loan. There's some talk that Neto might be actually called back earlier than the loan deal. He's done so well so far for Arsenal that Bournemouth might want him back earlier than anticipated. And that would certainly be a career high for Bournemouth. Calavori's giving it away to Barnes. And Barnes has wasted the shot, but Calavori was quick to get there and try to atone for his error. He was charging towards Barnes there. And that's that defensive passion from Arsenal that has been a cornerstone of their title challenging aspirations. Oh God. It's just, but there's, I think, like we've said a couple of times, it seems to be more of a it's our year feel, and I think it's getting more and more realistic with every game that goes by and every goal that Arsenal score, and they're scoring a lot of them. Here's Barnes. Nketiah's hobbling a little bit, I see. And we were talking about injuries earlier. And Nketiah is struggling a bit. Well, he's back on his feet. We did say it's an unfortunate part of the game. And even a squad player like Nketiah is important for title challenging sides. And like we said, City had that in abundance. The whole team is stacked. Manchester United's teams used to be like that. Squad players like Darren Fletcher, absolutely superb, and I know from experience. Manchester United don't really have that kind of squad anymore. It's pretty much Bruno Fernandes and then everybody else, really, quite frankly. And it's just not going right for Erik ten Hag, and on that, well, he's still there now, Erik ten Hag, but I think it's becoming increasingly likely that Manchester United will pull the trigger on him, so to speak. I think if he loses this weekend, I think we could be looking at a possible leadership manager change, probably the first of the season, being Erik ten Hag, and he was already in the hot seat from the FA Cup, of course, so it's not going right. It had a good start, didn't they, with Joshua Zirkzee getting a goal on his debut, but it's kind of all going wrong for United right now. And Erik ten Hag is feeling the effects of the lack of results again. And it only seems to be getting worse, even with all the recruitment. They failed to land Manuel Ugarte, and Nelson tries a shot. But yes, Manchester United were in the running for Manuel Ugarte from PSG at one point, but it fell through, and many people have been speculating why. But Erik ten Hag did get his other choices, with Zirkzee and De Ligt and Mazraoui as well. But Ugarte didn't go through. And Newcastle substitution Kelly went off for Hall. Well, it has been a defensive masterclass from Arsenal this afternoon as they approach the end of the game. And they've looked unbeatable all afternoon. Newcastle probably could count themselves unfortunate, but Arsenal going on as they mean to. 4 minutes of added on time. And it's been more about the defending than David Raya this afternoon for Arsenal. Hopefully we don't put a commentator's curse on them as Wilson tries to come forward. And he spun Calvori out. And Calvori, that might be in trouble. He's off. Calvori's gone. Last man. And Arsenal are a man down with a minute and so left. Well, could Calvori be a little bit unfortunate here? Not really. I think that is the right decision. And Arsenal, for the first time this season, are a team that have gone down to 10 men, and that's been very rare. And here is, I'm not sure who's taking this corner. It looks like it might be Gordon. It's not, it's Trippier. Oh, that's awful, to be fair. A very poor free kick from Kieran Trippier. He normally buries them. But Arsenal, in a rare twist, down to 10 men. We have not said that at all this season. It's been mostly the opponents that have been making it easy for them, getting a man or two sent off. But today, Calvori is the man going off for an early bath. Even though it's not really early, because there's 2 minutes left of the game. But, yeah, what a surprise here. So shock's personified, and here comes Wilson. And Newcastle just really haven't had their shooting modes on this afternoon, which is very unlike them. But I think it just proves to the power of this Arsenal side. And as we've said, the Alexander Isak signing has changed a lot for their fortunes. Newcastle have done just as well without him. But today, it's Arsenal that are taking home the 3 points back to the N5. It seems like. Here comes Gordon. Gordon with a shot, and Ryan makes another simple save. That's a clean sheet for David Raya. A 2-0 win for Arsenal. No goals in the second half, but we already had the stunning first half. But in an interesting twist, Calvori was sent off late on in a very rare Arsenal red card. But even still, they still took the points. No goals for Trossard, but he's scored 7 in a game already. 7 in the game already. It was against the Young Boys. Arsenal, from the end of the first half, when Isak scored, were relatively comfortable from there. Newcastle dropped points by 0-2 at the end here. Taking a look at all the other scores from the weekend's games, Wolves get a point with a 0-0 draw at Crystal Palace, but Manchester City still are the top of the team to beat with 28 points on the board, and Arsenal, actually, their win against Newcastle has actually closed the gap. But we'll continue with the scores. Leicester beat Ipswich by 2 goals in a promotion clash. West Ham 4, Nottingham Forest 2 in a classic there. Southampton drawing with Everton. Liverpool drawing with Brighton. Spurs win again. All of a sudden, it's going right for them. As they 2-0 against Aston Villa. And it doesn't get any better for Manchester United, losing 1-0 to Chelsea. And that could spell the end for Erik ten Hag. Brentford beating Fulham by 2 goals to 1. So City still lead by 4 ahead of Newcastle United. But now the gap is closed with Arsenal right back in it. And then there's a bit of a 5-point gap or so to Spurs. I think it's 7 actually. Liverpool in 5th, followed by Chelsea. Brentford get ahead of Manchester United. And Manchester United, it's back to really normal service resumed, to be completely honest. Back to 8th where they finished. And like we said, that could spell the end for Erik ten Hag. Bournemouth 9th, followed by Leicester City. Brighton 11th, followed by West Ham. The surprisingly lower team is Aston Villa. It's not going right in the league for them this season, strangely. They finished 4th. Forest 14th, followed by Fulham. Everton, Crystal Palace, Southampton and Ipswich, the 2 promoted sides, are now back in the relegation zone. And Wolves need to get some points on the board with only 2 from 10.